Okay, going through this. So, on Twitter, someone posts a link to an article that everyone was making fun of because it was silly. And the article itself was, it's on Reductress. I'm not tiny because I'm Asian. I'm tiny because you're white. Of course, there, there's a lot that's misguided here and misinterpreted, kind of deliberately. So everyone's making fun of it. Fuck, I was making fun of it because it's a silly premise. But I want to go through because it got me thinking a little bit. I mean, I don't want to make fun of this person any more than everyone, including myself, already has. I just want to go through and logically deconstruct this article real quick. For reasons. I don't know. Anyway, the premise of her article is that as an Asian woman under 5'4", quote, many people misattribute my size to my race. And let's start right there. That's not a misattribution. It's, look, your height is related to your genetics. Your genetics are the foundation of your race. I mean, it's who you are. Race, honestly, the race as a social construct isn't totally wrong-headed in my mind. I mean, if someone's, 3/4 of one race, 1/4 another, which race are they? How about, 1/2 this, 1/4 that, 1/8 that, and so on and so forth. I think race is, it's a way of categorizing people to make it easier to understand. It's shorthand. It's like, look, they're from this part of the world, they have a look, fuck it, they're Asian. That's what it's for. What's that guy look like? Well, he's probably of Slavic, fuck it, he's a white guy. It's a way of just shorthand. You could go into this could be like 2 whole videos easily, but regardless. Genetics dictates height and race. That's not a misattribution. I don't want to be deliberately obtuse. I understand what she's trying to get at. Her comments are, I'm not tiny because I'm Asian. I'm tiny because you're white. Her point is that with 4.3, here, I'll just read this. With 4.3 billion Asians accounting for 60% of the world's population, our median size is the norm, and you're all deviating from it. And yes, that's correct and wrong at the same time. I don't live in the world, and not every day anyway. I live in my environment. In my environment, which is the United States of America, 62% of the population is white, non-Hispanic white, and there's a comment too, but getting away from that for a second, 62% non-Hispanic white. 3/5 of everyone I run into is probably a white dude or lady. The Asian population, all Asians combined in the United States, Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese, I mean all of them combined, is a little over 3.5%. That is a very small percentage. I'm going to use as my standards not the world population, because I don't interact with the world every day. I only interact with my environment. I'm going to use as a standard the people I run into. Like, am I taller than them? Yes. In general, I am, actually. I'm a little under 5'10". Not a giant by any means. And in fact, on my father's side of the family, I'm a short guy. On my mother's side of the family, I'm taller than any of them. Depends on the environment. Am I tall? Am I short? Depends on where I am and who I'm around. It's all relative. If you're in the United States and you're under 5'4", I'm sorry, you're a short person. In any given area you go to, you are probably on the small side. That's just how that works. I mean, you can't deliberately be obtuse and just say, well, compared to the rest of the world population, there are more Asians than white guys, and the median age. I get what she's saying, and she's not offhand completely wrong, but that's a silly statement to make in terms of, yes, when I say you're tiny, what I mean is relative to everyone in our immediate vicinity, you're smaller than most people. around here that are in my line of sight. Duh, that's understood. The stereotypes of Asians being tiny is a long-held misconception. No. No. I mean, it's not. It's not a misconception. It's like, look, you're just smaller than the rest of us. If I were in some Chinese city or something like that, or Japan or whatever, and the median height is much smaller, then yeah, I'm huge by comparison. I become huge by going someplace where most people are shorter than me. I go to, some Nordic country where I know for a fact they tend to be quite a bit taller. I would be a tiny dude, relatively speaking. It's just how that works. Next point, many people still wrongly use being Asian, in quotes, as a catch-all explanation for certain qualities that only some Asians possess. It's a reasonable statement, but then she follows it up with, for example, not all Asians excel at math. I happen to score a 5 on my Calc BC exam, but that's because I studied hard. A time-tested approach used by all people, da-da-da-da-da. Fair enough. But, damn it, she's missing the fucking point there. Very much so. It's, look, why did you study hard? Is a good question. It's actually been a source of discussion previously. Like, Asians do better than white dudes on standardized testing and mathematics. So why is that? Are they inherently mathier? No, of course not. What seems to be a factor, maybe a major factor, but a factor either way, is that a lot of the families that immigrated to the United States, particularly from parts of Asia, seem to value education and studies more so than their American, more than contemporary American counterparts. Consequently, their children value it more at a crucial point of their life while they're in school. They end up focusing more on their studies. Ipso facto, they tend to do better in math. It's not complicated, it's not weird, and it's not inherent, but it is a factor. In this case, not genetics, but culturally, that family, if your family emphasizes studies and learning, you're probably, not guaranteed, but probably going to do better in school. To say that it's not a factor is absurd. Of course it is. Your family is always a factor. And your family's Asian. This is how these line up. This is how this shakes down. It comes across as silly because she almost says it in an accusatory tone of like, my tininess is your fault. And I'm like, and it's just ludicrous. I haven't looked at Reductress much. What I'm seeing is kind of a lot of the same. I want to check it out a little. Try to give them the benefit of the doubt. But, well, I don't know. That's me. I'm out.